Baruch Hashem, it is day number 30 of our daily study of the Rambam Sefer HaMitzvos. And in the 3 chapters a day of Mishnah Torah, we are starting and finishing a whole section of halacha, because it's just 3 chapters, so it fits nicely into just one day in the 3 chapters a day study track. And that is Hilchos Tzitzis. Hilchos Tzitzis, the laws of tzitzis. What's tzitzis? How do you translate it? I mean, you translate it as fringes sometimes, but it's a really hard word to translate. There's really nothing like it in English. It's a very specific concept, very specific to the mitzvah. So here we go. Let's introduce this mitzvah, and it's just one mitzvah today that corresponds to the laws of tzitzis. And here it is. Positive commandment number 14, the mitzvah of tzitzis. All males are required to have these fringes on the 4 corners of their 4-cornered garments. And we say this every day in the Shema. It's the last paragraph of Shema, where we say, speak to the Jewish people and tell them, V'asu lahem tzitzis al kanve vigdehem. Tell them to make these tzitzis, these fringes, on the corners of their garments. And it goes on and says, V'nosnu al tzitzis hakonof psil tchelis, and they shall affix a thread of tchelis. I'll translate that as a shade of blue that's made from a very specific dye. The Rambam speaks all about this in Mishnah Torah. They should make a thread of this bluish hue, also part of the tzitzis fringes. Now, let's talk about that for a second here. The tzitzis and the tchelis. So we don't have the proper tchelis today, and I'm not going to get into a whole discussion about it, about whether it has been identified or not identified. I actually heard that the Frierdiker Rebbe, the Rebbe Rayatz, said clearly when asked that the chilazon fish will not be discovered until Mashiach. So I won't get into that discussion now, but the point is, most halachic authorities agree we don't have that tchelis, that blue dye. So here's the question. Can we do the mitzvah of tzitzis without the tchelis? Can we do the fringes without the blue thread? And the answer is yes, obviously. You see that you can do it. But now you're going to ask another question, a very intelligent question, based on something we learned several days ago. Remember when we learned the laws of, or we learned the mitzvahs that correspond to the laws of tefillin, mezuzah, and Sefer Torah, and we spent 2 days learning tefillin because we learned the head tefillin on one day and then the hand tefillin on the other day. And I told you that according to the Gemara in Menachos, that they're 2 separate mitzvahs, and it even discusses it there. What if somebody only has one or the other? Should they wait until they have both? Or if they have to, should they just go and do the one mitzvah, which is better than doing no mitzvah? And we said that our sages clearly say, look, obviously it's ideal to do both the head and the hand, but each one is its own mitzvah. And if you can only do one, by all means, do the one that you can do. Okay, so maybe it's something like that. Maybe, I'm talking about with tzitzis, maybe the tzitzis and the tchelis is the same type of deal. Maybe it's 2 different mitzvahs, and it's nice to do both mitzvahs, but if you can't, you do the one. That is not correct. No, not correct. How do I know? Because, as the Rambam explains in Sefer HaMitzvos, that the Sifri, which is a early midrashic work, actually has this discussion. And the Sifri says very clearly, one might think that there are 2 mitzvahs, the fringes, and then the blue thread, but actually that is not correct. It is all one mitzvah and not 2. However, this aspect of having the tchelis is not ma'akev. It doesn't prevent one from performing the mitzvah. So the blue thread is part and parcel of the mitzvah, but it's not an aspect which prevents the mitzvah from being performed in the event that one doesn't have it. So that is hopefully clarification regarding that. And that's it. I told you it's 3 chapters long, Hilchos Tzitzis. So tomorrow we're going to be starting a new section of halachas in 3 chapters a day of Mishnah Torah, and we're going to have some new mitzvahs to learn in our daily study Sefer Mitzvahs. We'll see you tomorrow, God willing.